Hello everybody and welcome to lesson number 3 of the Improvers Guitar Lessons with me, Mr. Parr. So, last week we started learning our chords for the new song Shotgun by George Ezra. So, what we're going to do today is practice putting those chords together a wee bit more and start to play them along with the backing track. So, let's get going. Okay, so last week we went over our 4 chords we were going to use for Shotgun and we practiced putting them together. So let's just go over those chords one by one to make sure we've got them in our heads first of all. We had a G, so the 3rd finger in the 3rd fret on the string closest to the floor. We had a C, so the 1st finger in the 1st fret on the 2nd string. We had our new chord E minor, easy minor, because there's no fingers on frets, it's just 3 open strings. And then we had a D, D for difficult, because we got 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string up, our middle finger on the string closest to the floor right underneath, and then our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret over here on the 2nd string up from the floor. That's our D. So last week we practiced putting them all one after the other like we need for our song Shotgun, and we practiced holding each one for 4 beats. So I'm going to give you a demonstration of that now, and then we're going to have a practice session on it. So we had a G for 4. I'll count myself in. 1, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, and C, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, 4, and I'll stop there. Okay guys, so our practice session now is going to be practicing those 4 chords one after the other and holding each one for 4 beats. So in a minute I'm going to count in and play that chord progression G, C, E minor, D over and over again in a loop, holding each chord for 4 beats. And what I'd like you to do is to get ready before we start. When I count in, we're all going to start together and you're going to play along with me in the video and see if you can stay in time with me and with all the rest of the people in the class for the whole practice session until I stop. That's your challenge. So get ready on your G's now. And also have your other fingers ready for the chords you're going to need. So what I always do is have my 1st finger ready for a C, so you can swap easily. And then when you have an E minor, you're going to get your fingers ready for the D. So here we go. After 4, get your G's ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, and G, 2, 3, ready, and C, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, and G, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and C, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, and D, 2, 3, 4, and last time G, 3, 4, and C, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, and D. Okay guys, I hope that was a good bit of practice. Now, what I want to go over before we try the backing track, I want to practice that D chord a bit altogether, because the D chord is really difficult and sometimes it takes quite a while to get your fingers ready in place for that D chord. It takes a lot of practice till you can do that quickly. So let's just practice a wee exercise I do to get good at doing a D chord. And what it is you play the D and then you take your fingers off, relax them, and play a D again. So you practice taking your fingers off the D and then finding the right place again. Now it might be the first time you try this, you'll play the D, take your fingers off, and you'll have to get each finger one by one and find its place steadily. Now that's totally great at first when you're finding your place and you're teaching your fingers how to find that D shape. Okay. Now the more you do that, play a D and take your fingers off, and then find it again and play the D another time. And repeat. If you can do that 10 times in a row, you'll find by the end, you're much faster at getting your fingers into place of the D. And if you did that 10 times every day for a week, you'd be loads better by next week. And if you did that 10 times every day for a month, by the end of the month, you'd be an expert. You'd be able to do it instantly. So pause the video now and have a little practice of playing that D chord and fingers off, and then finding it again, so we can get that pattern in the muscle memory under the fingers. Okay, so we've practiced playing through the chord progression all together in a loop in time, and that was sounding great. And we've practiced a little exercise to get better and better at the D chord. If you keep practicing that, you're just going to keep getting better and better. And now, just to finish off the lesson for this week, I'd like to introduce you to our backing track. So if you look in the description below, excuse me, there's a link to a backing track for Shotgun. And this is the recording of the song by George Ezra, but slowed down a bit so that you can play along with it while you're still getting used to the chord progression, and especially getting used to changing onto the difficult D. So if you click on that link below, what you have is some clicks at the start that count you in. And then once you're counted in, it's actually the same chord progression all the way through the whole song now. There's the chord names come up on the screen to help keep you in the right place if you do get lost. But if you just keep going around that pattern, G for 4 beats, C for 4 beats, E minor for 4 beats, and D for 4 beats, you'll be able to play along with the whole song. So good luck with that, guys. Let me know how you get on in the comments below if you feel like that. I'm looking forward to our lesson next week. Okay, bye-bye, guys.